Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Sue Bleasy, Lindsay Robinson, and Kelly Bolyard, all from Not Wasted. Kelly, we're speaking with you. You are a product of this program. I was very interested in something that you said before our break, is that at the end of 2 years in prison, you knew you needed Jesus. Some people would say, I knew I needed to make a change. I needed to pick myself up from my bootstraps, or I needed to turn things around. You say, I needed Jesus. How did that message come to you?
So I grew up in the church, going to church, but I never actually had a relationship with Jesus. I knew that, he grew up and he died on a cross, and I got all that, but I didn't get it. It didn't mean anything to me, and most importantly, that relationship wasn't there. So while I was away, the lady Carol I was speaking about, she would come visit me and bring me religious books, and she got me a Recovery Life Bible, which I still have to this day and means the world to me. I don't know. I just knew, right before I went away, the lifestyle I was living was just terrible. And I remember praying, God, if you really exist, if you're real, I need a change. I can't continue living this way. Yeah. I have a child. He deserves better. And a few days later, I didn't know I was going to end up in jail, but I did. Yeah. And people think I'm crazy when I say this, but next to having my child, that is the best thing that ever happened to me.
I've heard other people say that. That was what was needed to be the rude awakening or whatever. So you're a mom.
I am.
And talk about your relationship with your child.
I have a son, Caden Bolyard. He's 11. He's amazing. He's the best thing that ever happened. He's really sad. He really wanted to come experience this.
That would have been good.
We took a selfie for him. So.
Oh, good, yeah.
It's great. It's totally renewed. Yeah. He was upset with me when I went away. He didn't get what was happening.
How old was he when you went
He
to
was
prison?
8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he just knew he lost his home. He lost his mom. Everything down to his dog. Everything was taken from him. But I have amazing parents who took him in and loved him and took care of him while I was away. And since I've been home, renewed. Every time, people ask me about the relationship between me and him, renewed. Completely.
Talk about your experience then with Not Wasted. Did you get to go through the different things? Do you make the crafts and create some of these things?
Absolutely. So I had said earlier that I had prayed to give me this place to go to.
Yeah.
So 3 days after I got released, I got a phone call asking me if I had a job and what I was going to do. And I told them I have no clue.
Who called you and said, do you have a job?
It was a lady that I had met going to church in the facility that I was in. So she called and checked up on me, and she had been really good friends with the director at the time. And so she had told me about Not Wasted, and I went in for an interview, and they ended up keeping me that day. So it was amazing. We used to only be open 3 days a week and only from 9 to 1. Well, when I got released, I came home to a place that, wasn't the healthiest environment. So they would let me put my son on the bus and come straight into Not Wasted, and they would let me stay there all day long until it was time to get him off the bus every day of the week. Even when Lindsay came, Lindsay would even come in on Saturdays just so that I had a safe place to go.
Because you had to return to prison at the end of the day at that point? Or was this
no.
was after you were out?
Yep, once I was released.
Yes. And you had a job at this point with Not Wasted?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was just a client.
Got it.
So
okay.
I came into the program as a client. I went through all the phases, all the steps. I did everything. And yes.
Housing as well?
Yes, which is amazing because their housing never accepted children. But God is so amazing. Somehow managed to be able to get me into a house with my child.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible! Oh, what a story!
Yeah.
So how long now? Okay, if he was 8 at the time and he's 11 now, that's only 3 years. You were in for 2 years, so this is all within the last year that you've gone through this amazing transformation with Not Wasted.
Okay, so maybe my dates are wrong.
Okay, that's all right because my math can be off.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be the first time.
You've been on staff for about 2 years.
So
I've been home.
On staff.
Yeah. So maybe I meant to say that he was 8 whenever I came home.
Got it.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just trying to get a timeline established here.
Nope. I've almost got 5 years that I've been out of that lifestyle.
Oh, congratulations. And so now, are you friends with some of the gals who are coming through the program now? Do you remember them from being together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I first got asked to become staff, we were just getting ladies from a different facility that it was you went in lieu of prison. So instead of like going to prison, you'd go to this facility. So these girls are still like they're still in that like street life mentality. They're still very broken. Mm-hmm. So I had a suggestion and pushed to switch over to the facility that we're going to now, which is where you're coming home from prison.
The facility you were in.
Which is the facility I was in, yes.
Got it.
So, yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of the ladies that are coming through the program now.
Their reaction when they see you, is it, oh, hi? What is the response when they see, or did they know that you've been involved with this program?
It really just depends. If somebody's in the program right now that knows me and then somebody comes and they're like, oh my gosh, Kelly's there. Mm-hmm. But no, usually they just hear, Kelly's coming to get us, Kelly's coming to get us. And then they get into my car and see that it's me, Kelly. An instant, there's tears, there's laughter, there's shock. Yeah. And I cannot tell you how many times a week people tell me thank you for giving me hope. Yeah. And it is amazing. And that is why I do the job that I do, to give back to the ladies the way that it was giving to me and be able to help somebody. Like when people came in to help me, amazing.
When you're talking about, one of you said this could be somebody's first time in a car in 6 years. Talk about that experience. I mean, you read in the Bible, it's so biblical about setting the prisoner free and so forth. You're literally getting to experience that. Mm-hmm. And, can I even say this without crying? But, when Jesus says, to visit those in prison. So, that's the one where, you might be able to do this checklist of, he wants us to feed the hungry and clothe those who need clothes. I don't know that I've ever been to a prison, but you are able to literally do those and be his hands and feet and see his face in those prisoners because he says, you do this to me. Talk about that from your perspective.
I remember coming home and the first time I was in a car. Like, I remember all of that. The thing that I remember the most is I went to a ministry like ours, and I ate with a real fork again.
What do you eat with in prison?
It's plastic. Everything's plastic.
Okay.
I thought I was going to chip a tooth. Like, it was different. It was so different.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really amazing. We do all those things you just mentioned that Jesus states for us to do.
Yes.
Because they come, we feed them good food. I mean, they don't get good meals there. I know what their food's like there. I mean, I became a vegetarian when I was in prison because it's bad. It's bad. Mm-hmm. So we feed them raw fruit and vegetables and, good.
Thank you, Akron Canton Food Bank.
Oh, yes. They've been here. Yes. Akron Canton Food
we
Bank's
love them.
Awesome.
Yes. We feed them real meat and stuff that's healthy.
And they get to cook with us.
Yes.
It's a community experience. So we cook together. We eat lunch together. It's sometimes it's the first time that they've gotten to be autonomous and decide a meal for themselves or help to prepare a meal for someone else in years.
You just don't think about that. That's right. Somebody else is telling you what you're going to be having. It's almost like school lunch every day where you have no say. And you're talking about really being creative. There's something very creative and healing about preparing a dinner and then talking about being creative in designing and creating these adorable products that you make available to people. That's got to be healing in some way to some of these gals. Talk about that.
Absolutely. It's absolutely healing. There are some of the craftiest people I ever met inside the walls in prison. And so we get them, and they get to come to us, and they love it. They love it so much. The thing that I love most about Not Wasted in my journey was no matter what happened at home before I left, there was a lot of unhealthy stuff happening there. I could be crying by the time I put my kid on the bus. But on my way into work, like knowing when I pulled in that parking lot, a weight just lifts. As soon as you walk in the door, it's so full of love and it's just safe. And that's what the ladies tell us a lot. And that's what we strive to create for them, is a safe environment, like some place that they can come and feel safe and get away from all the drama and just be loved on. And it's just an amazing, amazing, amazing thing.
What do you do for the ladies after they have completed the program and have maybe gone through the Not Wasted program as well? Because you can't hire everyone like Kelly, but what happens to the rest of them?
Well, our program is still developing, but we have 4 goals for the women who come to us. The first goal is restoration of identity. Throughout our lives, most of us end up placing our identity in things that change. Maybe our identity is as a mom and our kids grow up, right? Our identity is in a job that we have and we lose that job. Most of the women coming through the program have lost a lot of things, and their identity is in need of restoration. So restoration of identity is the first goal.
Let me stop you there. You're talking about life. That's something every single person goes through. And you're right. As soon as we realize our identity is in Christ, we're pretty on solid ground there.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, life is always changing, and everybody does go through this. So is it different for them than everyone else?
I don't think it's different at all, actually. I think it may be more intense in some ways.
Got it.
A lot of us can do a really good job of denying where we are, but prison strips you of that denial in a lot of ways. You can't pretend that you're okay, right? So in a lot of ways, actually, the women who come to us from prison have a greater chance of being healthier than some of us who think we're okay.
Wow.
They're starting at a better place.
Because we all have to realize we're not.
Exactly.
And they know.
Yeah.
Got it.
So restoration of identity. The second thing that we hope to provide is healthy community. And that healthy community is a place of peace, but it's also a place of accountability. The third goal is to prepare people for sustainable employment and dignifying vocation. Sustainable meaning they can live off of it. Dignifying mean it doesn't hurt them or anyone else. And that in some way it's connected to who God created them to be, the things that he created them to be about. And then the fourth goal is to provide opportunities for employment. Providing those opportunities doesn't always look like we can hire everyone who comes through the doors, although we would love to be able to hire more people. It may mean that we walk alongside someone in terms of praying with them on a regular basis. It may mean that we're helping them with resumes and job applications, that we are driving them to and from appointments and interviews. It may mean that we're connecting them with people who might be willing to interview and hire. And a lot of those connections just come through relationship, and we see how God brings those things about.
What kinds of things do you need, or are these all provided by us buying these cute products that you sell? I'm thinking clothing for women coming out of prison and going on job interviews. What kinds of things do you need?
Well, we're looking to start a little bit more of a clothing ministry here soon, since we have some more space in our new facility.
Nice.
However, the thing that we need most are prayers, and we do need funding. We strive to be sustainable through the products that we produce. And our parent organization, the fiscal sponsor, Truly Reaching You, Perry Clark and his wife Lisa and the COO Steve, they've done an amazing job as a nonprofit, that they're not just a nonprofit who's constantly asking for checks, but they're doing hard work in order to make that money. And so we're along that same track, but selling our goods doesn't, it's not enough.
Okay, it doesn't cover the whole thing.
No.
How do we donate, and how do we buy your goods?
You can donate, actually, by going to the website.
TryNotWasted.net.
And can they click a button there to donate?
Yes, they can.
And is that where we also buy the cute things that you're selling?
You can purchase our goods there. We are also for sale at Market Path in Highland Square in Akron, at Rubber City Clothing in Akron. We'll be at the Women's Expo, actually.
Okay.
That will already have happened by the time this goes.
That's all right.
True.
Okay.
There is a list of events on our website also of where we will be.
Perfect. All right. TryNotWasted.net. Sue Bleasy, Lindsay Robinson, Kelly Bolyard, thank you so much for what you're doing in our community.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.